Hi there, so Honkai Star Rail is about to be officially released next week, and in this video we're gonna talk about 5 mistakes you might let yourself make while starting to play Honkai Star Rail. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. And the first mistake you might have is a wrong management of a premium currency. So first of all, we have 3 types of premium currency in the game. One is a premium currency itself, it's called Stellar Jades, and with this premium currency we can buy 2 other types which are both tickets. First type is regular Star Rail passes and the second one is special Star Rail passes. And here you might think that since we have general banner, well, we have lots of different 5-star characters, and also we have this 300 guaranteed where we can actually choose a 5-star character. You might think that it's much better to actually spend your Stellar Jades on those regular Star Rail tickets, but it's actually wrong. First of all of those characters which are available in regular banner are actually available in every time limited banner without any problem. So at some point, even for example summoning for Zilla, you have a chance to get Bailu or Bronya or anyone else. So you have to keep that in mind. That's why you don't have to waste your Stellar Jades on regular tickets. Again, of course, you might want to get your 300 guaranteed a bit faster, but you have to keep in mind that it's a one-time thing. You won't be resetting this 300 guaranteed after getting the first 5-star character. So anyway, by just playing the game, you'll be regularly receiving those common Star Rail passes, and at some point you will get to those 300. But if we're talking about special Star Rail passes, of course, since it's time limited and you might want some specific character which will be available for just a limited time, you actually want to save up either special Star Rail passes or Stellar Jade. Honestly, for me it doesn't actually make any difference if you want to transfer all your Stellar Jades in special Star Rail passes or just keep them in the format of Stellar Jade. But anyway, the main idea is to not spend your Stellar Jades currency on regular Star Rail passes because there is just no need in that. The next thing we're going to talk about is Trailblaze Power, or simply energy, stamina, whatever you want to call that. With this thing it's really simple. This is your farming currency, so you have to waste some amount of this currency to actually enter the farming stage, and you have a limit of 180 of it, and it will be restored just naturally over the time. But it can't go over the limit, so especially first days of the game, your main idea is to just keep an eye on it, not let it get to 180 because it can't go over it. There is no sense in waiting, for example, for 5 days to get 400 or 600 of it. It will never happen. So just when you're going to bed, school, work, whatever you are going to, you just waste this Trailblaze Power wherever you want. The best scenario will be to just farm some credits or resources for your characters you use to level up, or if you are not that interested in what resources you will need in future, just farm whatever you can, because anyway it will pay off. It's much better than sitting on 180 power. Here we have something completely different, which is fuel, and here you don't have to mess it up, just know the difference. We want to spend as much power as we can, and we don't want to spend fuel at all, because fuel is a thing which is just kept in your storage and you can use it to immediately restore some amount of power, and you will want to use this thing while grinding for some 5-star relics at some point between mid-game and late game. You actually don't have to use it, even though you might want to actually get some additional resources to level up some of your characters. It's not needed. You will anyway be able to level up all of your characters just in some time. The same goes to Stellar Jades, which you can also refresh your power with. It's just not worth it, especially at the start of the game, especially if you're free to play. This is a limited resource, and even if you just want to level up your characters as fast as possible, just be patient, be efficient in using your just natural power you get, and don't use neither fuel or Stellar Jades on it. The next thing we're gonna discuss is actually a hero progression, which we already touched in a previous mistake. So The main idea for people who don't actually get that deep into the strength of the characters, whenever they get any new character, no matter what rarity this character is, if this character is actually synergizing and fitting in the team, they just waste all the resources they have on the account for this character and put them in the team. And then maybe in 5 days they get another character and do the same, just waste all the resources they saved up for this period of time and immediately put this character in the team. It's wrong. You can't actually manage resources like this, especially first weeks of the game when it's really fresh and you don't get that much amount of resources. And especially if you're free to play, you just won't be able to actually level up important characters. So the main idea is to be really greedy. You don't have to level up all the characters. Find some few core characters you want to actually level up. It better be just some DPS or sub DPS characters. For example, even if you're using Mach 7 as your current defensive character, you don't have to level her up first priority, because it's anyway a defensive character at the start of the game. It's much more important to just kill enemies as fast as possible. So even if you're using some defensive characters, even if you think that they might be really important at some point of the game, it's just better practically to level up your DPS characters when you start to really struggle during the story. And again, don't try to level up every character, because it may actually waste too much of your resources, which are limited at the start of the game. Again, if you're a Discover person, you just want to find out everything yourself, you don't want to get deep into the guides, you want to just find yourself a really good team which you want to use, there is no problem. You just have to be aware that it's practically impossible if you're not a whale to actually level up every character, get every character, and find a proper team for this character, just since you are limited in terms of resources. The next mistake we're going to discuss is not paying enough attention to just regular game routine. I understand that especially first days of the game, it's much more interesting to get through the story, explore the world, but you just have to keep in mind that there is a routine which actually gives you some resources, and at some point in the late game it will even become our main source of resources. And honestly, in this game it doesn't take that long, so just keep in mind there is a routine, just do your commissions, do your assignments. It will anyway give you a passive stream of resources, which is also important at the start of the game. And anyway, at some point you will be locked by the story, so you just have to do something, and at this point daily routine is really important and you don't have to forget that, as well as weekly routine. But again, with weekly routine it's a bit different, you don't have to care about it every day. With daily routine it is. So this is our fourth mistake. The fifth and the last mistake we're gonna discuss is completely ignoring the elemental thing in the game, which might happen with lots of you since you don't care about those gameplay mechanics, especially at the start of the game. You care much more about visual of the characters, about rushing the story, but actually not ignoring those icons above the enemies will actually make your progression faster. You will kill the enemies much faster. It's really simple. You just have to look above your enemies' HP bars, check what icons do they have there, and if you have any character which element fits that icon, just then attack this enemy with this character. It will actually trigger break effect at some point. We won't be going really deep into this mechanic in this video, but it will really help you deal with your enemies faster. So it's just a simple thing. You don't have to care about that much. You don't have to build your team around enemy's weakness. Every battle you just have to, with your regular team, check if you have any character which element is strong against enemy, and just target this exact enemy with this character. So that's all. These are my own 5 things which I think you might actually mess up at the start of the game, especially if you're not that deep into the guides. Share your opinions about this video in the comment section. Maybe you think that some other mistakes might be really crucial at the start of the game. And that's all for now. Thanks for your kind attention and see you soon.